Hey gang, so this was supposed to be my complete studio build and tour video. Unfortunately, the footage from tearing out the original carpet from this room and the whole first step has vanished, as has the introduction that I filmed at that time. So I'm going to recreate the introduction now, and you'll just have to imagine me tearing out carpet, which I'm sure you're all very anxious to do. So the room that we're in is what they refer to down here as the finished room over garage, or FROG. In fact, at one point I was going to call this the Frog Loft Studio before I decided to call it Shore Sound, so it was a little more flexible in case we move house or I actually someday move into a real facility. But anyways, this room was my oldest daughter's bedroom for the eight or so years that she lived at home before she moved out. She has recently moved out, leaving the room for me to use as my music studio. And so it included repainting, tearing out the original carpet, laying down new floor rugs, and installing all of the accoutrements that you see around me, which we will take a closer look at in a minute. But for now, let's go ahead and get started with the tiling of the floor. Hey gang, gotten a lot more of the floor in since last time. You can have a quick look. The whole alcove is done, and now I've got to do the last little bit in the closet, and then I will be ready to put in the quarter round. And at some point I have to replace the electrical outlets. You have a look at this one here. You can see it got painted over with the color of the wall paint from the previous tenant, my daughter. And so I've decided exactly what color I want to replace those with yet, but that needs to get done. And then, as maybe I said, the quarter round goes down, and once that is done, then the basic bones of the room are done. And we can begin assembling the desk, which is downstairs in a flat pack box in my garage. We ordered the convertible sofa yesterday. It'll be here a week from today. And we'll put that together and put it in, as this room will also double as a guest room when we have company over. And then I can begin tuning it with the homemade acoustic panels and absorption. So let's put a little more tile down. So I wanted to film a quick update before I left for the gym this morning, and also before I cleaned up the mess. I have finished the flooring as mentioned, and the quarter round is all in place. So, and I haven't cleaned my mess up yet. So that's next. And then after that, we can begin assembling the desk, and so we'll see you then. So we decided to wait on the desk. Well, we had to wait on the desk because not all the parts had come in. And we finished the frame for the futon. You can see I've got it up on its side out of the way. The mattress is supposed to come in a couple of days. One of the rugs is in. That's the one that's going to go under the desk. The other rug is not due until next week. That's the one that's going to go under the harp on that half of the room. And hopefully we'll be able to use these foam tiles under the drum set. But for the time being, it makes a great place for me to kneel while I'm working on this. So hopefully over the course of the next 2 days, we'll get the desk all assembled. Then we have company coming into town, so I probably won't move the system in here until after Christmas. But I also have to hang what I have of the acoustic tiles, or rather the acoustic treatment, and we'll get that taken care of too, and I have a little more I still need to build. So after we completed the futon, we discovered that one of the parts was damaged in shipment, or it was just bowed, and it wouldn't allow the futon to go from bed form to sofa form. So it is currently locked in bed form, which was fine because we had company over Christmas, and so they used the bed, and that worked out well. I did order a replacement part, which has arrived from Kodiak Furniture. So I have to open it up and make sure they sent me everything that I told them I needed. I hate the lighting in this room, and let's give it a go. Alright guys, I've been waiting a long time to do this, but we are finally ready. So, multiple holidays, a case of COVID, and getting snowed in later. Here it is, a tour of Shore Sound Recording. So, of course, the center of any modern recording studio, especially home studio, is the computer. This is a PC that my son built for me, and we decked it out. Now you can see behind the monitors, you can see two monitor arms that I purchased that unfortunately found out later these monitors aren't compatible with. So the one on the right is my oldest monitor. It's going pretty soon. Every time I turn my computer on, I have to unplug and replug it to get it to recognize it. So including this morning before I made this video. So the one on the left has a couple of screw holes. I just got to find the screws that'll fit it. And definitely want to use the arms though, because the monitors are too far away from my seating position right now, which makes it a little difficult. Desk is a Studio RTA creation station. It's smaller. I was originally going to get a producer station, but realized that it wouldn't fit in this room when I did a sketch of it. Also found out that with my Arturia Keylab board, I didn't have room for it and the computer keyboard and mouse, so added a little keyboard drawer to one of those that's on the articulated arm, and I just put it up to the right level of the desk and screwed it in. So my monitors are Focal Alpha 80s. I've been very happy with those. They look a little beat up. I bought them secondhand on Reverb. I've been very happy with them though. They have just fantastic sound. My keyboard rack over here, old Roland A-50 controller keyboard on top. Don't actually use that for much right now. Looking to replace that. Just to give you an idea how old I am, I'm looking to replace it maybe with a used D70. So, and then the Juno-DS below it. This just is nice because it's light and it was the right price. And has reasonable sounds and a decent control of the computer. It's got, you can put it in DAW mode and it will, you can have the transport controls for that, which is nice. So, and then my old KRK Rocket 5s are dedicated to the keyboard and plugged directly into it. The guitars that are hung around the room are my daughter's. She has just moved into her first apartment and doesn't have room for them, unfortunately. So she left them for Dad to hang up in her old bedroom. This is where she lived for the first 10 or so years that we lived here in Virginia. You can also see the acoustic panels that I built. Basically, it's the Roxel Safe and Sound inside it with a 1x3 or 1x4 frame, and then covered in duck canvas. So the drums are my son's. Unfortunately, he hasn't played in a little while. I'm hoping he'll pick them back up again someday. My mother is amazing. She finds things. She found me this little bell set, which is just wonderful. Can't wait to actually use it in a recording. I haven't yet. Once I mentioned I'd like to have an accordion, and she found this. It's a neat accordion. I have a song in mind that I'm going to record with it, but not to that point yet. I haven't been able to find a name on it. I'm not sure what kind of accordion it is, but I think it's pretty cool. And it sounds, well, like an accordion, which is just what you want. The dog bed is next to it for when she sits with me while I'm working. And then over in this corner is my youngest daughter's harps. She hasn't played in a little bit, but has indicated an interest in getting back into it. So I am looking forward to that, and hearing a little harp music again in the house, which would be cool. So you saw me putting together also the futon. I think it looks pretty nice in this room. It goes really well with the colors. The duck on the canvas on the acoustic panels matches it really well. And it folds out into a bed like futons do. We had company over Christmas, and she said that it was very comfortable. So that is the full studio tour. Very quickly, I'll mention, I should have when I was talking about the computer, my interfaces down here in the rack. Mostly I used the MOTU 8 Pre-ES on top. It's just a nice sounding interface with a ton of great routing, nice clean preamps. And then below it, the Focusrite was purchased because I could use it as a light pipe or ADAT expansion to the MOTU. So they are light piped together with fiber optics, and that gives me 16 input channels. And the nice thing about the Focusrite, it also has 2 on the front I can use if someone comes and I need to plug in some additional instruments. So that is the whole tour. Micro locker is back on this shelf, including a couple of other instruments that the dulcimer on the top I've used on a couple of recordings, and hopefully we'll hear some of these others in the future. So that is Shore Sound recording in the room over my garage. The rugs are down, floor looks nice, everything turned out really good. So thank you for watching.